Hi everybody, I'm Lorenzo Danese and this is my CS50 Python final project. The project is called PodcastAnalyzer and I built it to see the total views and consumption hours of my own podcast. As most video podcasts, it is available in Spotify, Apple and YouTube. And the problem is that each of these platforms has its own analytics tool. YouTube Studios shows only YouTube stats and similarly for Spotify and Apple. But I want to see the big picture in just one simple graph. So the script has three parts. In the first one, I import the libraries. Most of them are well known in Python, and Google API Client and Spotipy are used to interact with the APIs. In the second part, I define three functions. The first one to fetch data from YouTube API, the second one to fetch data from Spotify API, and the third one to aggregate and manipulate data both from APIs and CSV files, and then to create a graph. CSV files are required to integrate the info which are not available through the public APIs, like consumption hours, and to add the stats from Apple Podcast, which doesn't provide a public API. So these are CSV files I had to manually download from my account on these platforms. Finally, I have the main part where I call these three functions and I provide the attributes to make them work. If I run it, I get the final result. On the x-axis, I see the different podcast episodes, and on the y-axis, I have both consumption hours, represented by bars, and views, represented by the line. As the legend shows, in green we can see YouTube data, in blue Spotify data, and in red Apple data. So the green bars are the longest, and the green line is above the other two lines, which means that overall YouTube is performing better than the other two platforms, both in terms of views and consumption hours. Finally, there is a table with the total aggregated value. The interesting bit here is comparing consumption per view in YouTube and Spotify. It is 9 minutes in YouTube and 25 minutes in Spotify. This confirms the general perception that in YouTube, much more people are gonna see your content, but are not gonna probably stay and listen to 1 hour episode of two people talking, while in Spotify, the audience is smaller, but more loyal in a certain way. Thanks a lot for the attention, and if you have any comments, please let me know.